say
Happy Thursday.
but he's got nothing to cheers with.
You need something.
We're looking through Drew's stash. I don't get down here very often, so I don't know what we
The
got
chairs
here.
are kind of me blocking. You guys can't get back there and look. See,
There's Deanstons and all kinds of stuff. How's everybody doing?
it's good to see you. Good to see you too, sir. You put some this in there at least for now. At least
All right,
cheers.
fair enough. So we can cheers.
Get a little cheers
so
going on
cheers.
here. Well, happy Thursday. Let us know about the audio. We obviously got a little bit different view tonight.
Cheers to everyone. Happy
cheers.
Thursday.
Thirsty
Cheers.
Thursday.
Yes,
Gentlemen.
we're missing Andrew. He is
Incognito.
on a road trip for family business. But we kept it at Drew's house because we got lazy. It's raining outside. Didn't feel like carrying all the crap back down.
Yeah.
Molly was disappointed, but she'll get over it.
She'll live.
So yeah, it was good. Hoagie's here.
What's up, Hoagie? Good to see you, sir.
It's early in Germany.
It is.
It is early in June.
Audio's good, so that's awesome. Video's good, I hope so.
I do want to point out that Scotch for Dummies was first tonight.
Right? How'd we do that?
Because as soon as I set it up, I went first.
As soon as he right,
Because one lost cause is always first.
it's crazy.
Somebody's got to be first, man. It might as well be us, I guess. It's all right. We can't be last all the time.
You know what? Before you get speaking of Bud, before we get into it too much, let's do a hearty congratulations.
Is he on yet?
He's
already
on. He already said something about Andrew.
Yeah. So
To Bud.
there was an interesting photo was being shared on his Facebook and on our Discord channel.
Discord.
Apparently, the baby is well endowed already. So congratulations.
Congratulations, Bud.
And Bud Jr.
I'm Bud Jr.
Little Ron Swanson.
He can only hope.
Right? So that's good stuff,
All right,
man.
yeah, good
so who
news,
do we have
excited
on
for you.
tonight, Mark? You want to
So
scroll
I
through?
got there's lots of folks. Steve A. and I noticed Steve's got a little tool, a little wrench next to his name now. So I think he's moderating for us,
Yeah,
and I
he is.
appreciate that, Steve. We got Trooper Henry, Wheelhouse Whiskey, Bob H. Of course, Greg Bowers is around. Some of these folks were in the chat earlier on the Discord with us. We were having some light chat, watching the Colts game, watching the Colts blow the game. Anyway, Brandon Elliott. Mark JG, Brad Murphy, ahoy, down under. There's Everwind. He was in the chat. Malt Minion, Fight for Sound. I see some typical names. I will say this: we're hoping to see a bunch of strangers come in because right before we went live, Drew went over to the Tesla channel, who is getting ready to announce their new pickup truck in 1 hour, and there's like 5,000 people in the chat. So Drew threw out from Scotch for Dummies, "Hey, if you're bored
What the
while you're
hell?
waiting, come over to our
Come on
live
over.
channel. We'll drink
We
some
need the hits."
Scotch with us." So it would be really cool. D. Be a She is in. Hey, how are you
to
doing?
see you,
Haven't
good
seen you
to
in a
see you.
while.
Yeah.
Chad Adams and Mr. Porter, Jimmy T.
Gregor?
Traps.
Traps?
Yeah.
Where's Traps?
Rostislav Traps. Hey, y'all. That's a new name to me anyway.
Yep.
Welcome, man. Thanks for joining.
We'd love to see new names in
Brianne
there.
is on as well. We missed her last night on the show.
Nice. Zach Andrews.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jimmy
Russ is
Drammer.
on.
See, Jimmy Jarvis says he spends his life in live streams. He's probably over on the Tesla channel too. That's good stuff.
Scott finally made a live chat. Welcome to the show.
Glad you could make
Good
it,
to see
Scott.
you.
No kidding, man. That's real good. I did my best this week, today, to answer a lot of the comments. It's getting hard, guys. But I went in there.
It is hard.
And I did see a few people made comments that they were super excited about our impromptu live from Behind the Table because it was on a Sunday. It was a different time.
Different.
They were able to catch it. They were excited about that. So,
We're going to try and do more of that stuff.
Yeah, just because there are so many people that can't make this time slot.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, to be honest, when we first set this up, it wasn't for the YouTube channel. But we kept it going because Thursday night was our night to get together.
Right.
And so that's how we kind of... Actually, when we first started, Thursday night was when we released our reviews.
That's right. Yeah, we switched that about a year or two after we started.
Yeah, and so we started doing the review release on Monday and doing the live show on Thursday when you were able to do a live show because YouTube didn't used to have live. So we've been doing this for a while now.
A long time.
But that's why we do it on Thursday nights. And if we would have known ahead of time, maybe we would have done it on Sundays. But that is what it is.
To be honest, just so maybe you guys know this, maybe you don't, but the Whiskey Tube community, we've all tried to coordinate with each other so we're not stepping on each other's toes. In other words, we don't want to go live when Test Dummies and Roy are going live. Why? I mean, we noticed that we have a lot of the same
We did kill
people
this night,
watching.
too.
So
We don't have to
we've
kill
all
it.
kind of locked in our time slots, and that's why we're on Thursdays at 10 p.m. Doesn't mean we couldn't change, but I think we'd be a little bit hesitant to
But
change
we're like
to
friends.
Yeah.
Why would you want to change it
Right.
now?
Well, yeah, and exactly. So what do you got there? Kolila?
Yeah,
Oh,
cast strength.
You're going Petey.
Well, I mean, I can bounce back and forth. I'm not.
He said stick and move, stick and move.
It's all
He's a
good.
pro.
It's all good.
So anyway, lots of people online, and that's a good thing. The show tonight, you guys, we've got a couple of little things to do. Because our review was done at Vine and Table, that a bottle that Vine and Table opened up, and we don't actually have that bottle in our possession, we can't pour it and talk about it anymore.
well, we
We'll
can talk about it, but we can't pour it.
Right, so
It was
and we didn't have it
delicious.
in front of us. So we're going to talk about that. We've got a few minor things to talk about when it comes to Scotch in the news. There's a couple of interesting things, some eyebrow raisers.
One in particular.
One in particular, yeah. There was actually another article. We probably won't spend too much time talking about it per se, but I would like you guys to know about it so you could read it because I found it really interesting. I've got a blind set up for these guys. They have no idea what's in the bottles. I do. And we're going to have some fun with that just to see what they can make of it.
Filled him up.
I did fill them up. I thought we had a full house tonight,
did
and
you?
I wasn't going to be short, and I know who I'm dealing with here, right? Really? I'm not going to freaking be that guy.
I know.
So we'll get into that. We'll have some fun. What else have we got going on? We want to talk about the discussion that we had last night.
I was just going to bring that up. Yeah, last night was our second actual secret Santa whiskey swap. And the first time we did it, we kind of ran into some problems. So the whole point of it is obviously for our patrons only. And we draw names and we send each other stuff. And it's a really cool way to share, what you have in your collection or share why you have it. And it's important because it's like, what you like or what you like, I may not be able to get, etc. And so it's a cool way for us to, express what's going on. And so what we do afterwards is we kind of get together and we want to have a powwow and talk about it. The first time we did it, Hangouts kind of screwed us and we didn't really get through it.
Had limitations.
We had issues. So this time we did last night, and we actually used StreamYards. And StreamYards worked pretty well. We only had 6 technically at a time, but we could buffer in some, and we just had to swap people out. So we had our second annual patron-only video swap discussion. So it was actually really cool. Some really good discussions came out of it. We had fun. It was good seeing people's faces that you've been
That's
talking
true.
to
That's
for a long
true.
time.
Like, who's that?
Right. And we were just talking about before the show. We're going to try and do another one of those in the next couple of weeks for people that couldn't make it.
Right.
Because we had a decent show last night, but I know a lot of people were kind of upset because they couldn't make it. So we'll try and do something else.
It's.
soon.
I mean, honestly, we threw.
I
last
couldn't
night
make it.
down. Right.
How about that?
Because if we don't just throw down a date and do it, it's going to be January, guys, and before it happens, because the holidays are coming up. Next week's Thanksgiving, so we made it happen last night. We'll do a reshoot for some of the folks that want to get back on and talk, because I wanted to talk about the samples that I sent as well as the samples I received. So it was fun. If you didn't get involved, you probably want to consider it the next time, and we'll be doing it again. Thing is the more people that get involved, the slower the machine goes, right? But I'd say we did pretty smooth. There was one hang-up. One person had a hang-up when getting their samples, and that's because this Swedish government decided to hold on to it for some time. I think he actually has them.
Supposed to give him tomorrow.
Okay.
Last time he mentioned Discord, he said tomorrow, Friday should be the day. Should be.
It was like a 6-week
Yeah, I mean,
at least
for real.
minimum.
I had no idea it was that hard to send something over.
It sure wasn't that hard for him to send, because he was the person
He
that
did
sent to
you,
me.
right?
Yeah, I got my samples like the first week, man. We drew names, and all of a sudden samples were on my door. I was like, look at this. He even sent me some little chocolate candy, some sweet.
Oh, that's awesome. You didn't share those.
Yeah, man. No,
He
sure,
doesn't even know what you're
boy.
talking about.
Yeah, what-
Come
what
on,
chocolate?
man.
They're over at his
Busted
house. You're not
move.
going to see those till Halloween.
That's right. And that's a long time
And then
away.
you got to hunt for him.
Oh.
All right,
Does that have
so
that?
I might have
Yeah.
some of it. I think I'm going to go hedonism.
I'm gonna stay light because I'm not sure what you poured over there. I want my palate to be a little bit.
You have no idea what's in that.
I don't. I'm actually
I was
excited.
going to keep drinking cast drink
So
Peter.
we'll get into the blind tasting.
I know you
that's,
will.
That's the topic for tonight, and we'll talk about blind tastings in general, kind of, just discussions around it a little bit. But so let's go back to the review this week, right? So what did you guys
I wasn't on the live. I had to leave, but I was there for the reviews that we shot, obviously.
Right.
So they were very kind at Vine and Table, and they usually are. And they had a selection for us to choose from to do reviews off of before the live show.
Right.
And we had initially picked out one bottle, and we were kind of vacillating on between it and the Akhentasche, right? And we decided that we would go, and we actually had Jeff Teamy was the one who
He's the one suggested.
pushed it over the edge and said, you really should try this one if because he knew we had bad experience with the Akhentasche. We didn't really care for it. And we're just not really excited about that distillery, to be honest. But he suggested it, and so we gave it a go. Obviously, we liked it quite a bit, but it is night and day different from the one that we had.
Sure.
And some distilleries are weird like that. Like you get one that's an entry level, or maybe it's in a weird casking that doesn't complement the distillery's flavor profile, and just stuff is off, and it just doesn't do it for you. This bottle, I don't know if that particular distillery needs to sit for a while, if they've got, depending on where they cut the heads and tails, like there just may be some weird stuff that goes on in that new make that just takes a while to work itself out in the wood, because that dram was delicious.
And that was opened that night. That was an unopened bottle when we got to the liquor to Vine Table, right? So it's not like they had opened it weeks before and it had aired out some.
It was very
brand
good.
New.
And it was sitting in that Bordeaux cask for a long time.
Yeah.
So I mean that's something too, because normally when they do those red wine finishes, it's a pretty quick deal because they don't want to overwhelm it with the wine. And that stuff sat in there for 15 years, something like that. I mean, it was a long time. So
this was a 25-year-old bottle, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I want to
say
it
was
like
8 years
in
bourbon.
17 and 8 or something like that.
So that's a long time to sit in a red wine cask and not be overwhelmed by the wine. I mean, it was done very well.
It definitely was.
So they hit a home run with that.
It makes me think that the triple wood that we really had a bad experience with, that we really didn't like, might have just been more of an experiment from the distillery than the norm. Well, that's what I got to.
It's an NAS. It's obviously a younger one. That's why I'm thinking that maybe we need to try some that are in the middle.
Right. Some middle Akhentasche
maybe
range.
like let's get an 18-year or something and see where that lands us.
And in all fairness, to Vine Table, doing a price check on Google on that bottle, they're $50 cheaper than anyone in the country for that bottle.
Yeah.
And there is a limitation on it. It's not like there's an endless stream of those bottles. How many did he say he had? Probably like 20, 25 bottles is what they have in the store. And when that's it, the state of Indiana's out of them.
I have a question for our audience, because they're all sharp-eyed scout hawks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah. Right.
So behind us in the store was their high-end shelf, and I'm sure that you guys noticed what bottles were back there. And I'm kind of curious which bottle caught your eye from that
Which one would you
video, because they have some really good stuff sitting back on that shelf.
They
I
do.
mean, there's a couple that I'm like, you know what? If I sold some stuff, I could buy that bottle.
If you sold some stuff.
I mean, not my stuff. I'm going to take some stuff from Mark and sell it.
Of course,
But,
of course he is.
But I'm going to share the bottle with him, so it's kind of like it's his, right? It's like it's both our bikes.
No.
Pop's tripping, man.
That's my $200.
No.
So, but I mean, to me, looking back on that shelf, there was. Let's see, what did I? Well, there's that Port Ellen that's sitting back there that always
Port
calls
Ellen,
my
35-year-old, I think it was.
Yeah,
Like
and I can tell you right now that bottle's delicious. It calls to me every time I look back on that shelf.
So the bad thing about Vine Table, and it's not their fault, so I'm not going to knock them. They can't ship it to you guys. And honestly, they have customers that fly in from California, land in Indianapolis Airport, get a taxi or an Uber or driver to the liquor store, spend an hour in the liquor store, grab their few multi-$1,000 bottle purchases or whatever, and get on a plane and go home, just because they can. So, I mean, they've got a really good selection. I really wish they were able to ship it to you guys. I told them that they should expect a few of those bottles to come off the shelf just from the people that can walk in and buy them.
Yeah, that's true. Somebody asked. Oh, Alan Ward asked me which one I would buy. I think if price weren't an object, if I could just walk back there and pick a bottle up, I'd have to go home with that Port Ellen.
Wait, who wouldn't? I mean, I
Really?
would too.
That Dallas Stew.
I know that Dallas Stew calls my name too. Here's the problem with closed distilleries: they're closed, right? So maybe I put the Dallas Stew in my coat and walk out with the Port Ellen. You know what I mean? I don't know. I will say that that Dallas Stew that we had was exquisite. That was a really good Scotch.
They've got a brewer up there.
They have a brewer up on the shelf.
Some good stuff there. Actually, it's there's a reason why we call it our store, because they have. I mean, this actually is quite a few. Even Big Red has some really good selections by us as well. But Vine Table has the best selection around as far as in Indiana.
Bud called the Lagavulin 25, and we were talking about you while we were standing in front of that bottle. You should probably just pick that one up to drink with your son when he's old enough, right?
Yeah, you better start putting some money away for a special bottle for the day that boy's born, so that you can crack it when he turns 21. Because you know who's going to be standing right there? The Scotchor.
Like a ninja.
Exactly. Where did you come from? Don't you worry about it. Just give me a pull on that.
So you said something earlier that kind of caught my attention. It's kind of I guess we could probably have a little discussion about it, but you mentioned about Auchentoshan and maybe throwing the triple wood as an experimental bottle, whatever. I mean, I think that's probably a common thing in the Scotch distillery industry, because
it happens all the time.
You don't know what you're going to get, and especially if you got to wait it out. I mean, hey, let's throw some of the pickle juice in the side, see what happens. That's a great bottle, you know.
Right.
You don't know. And then you're like, oh no, it's not so much.
Well, so maybe it's an experiment. Maybe it is an opportunity to get rid of some stock that they don't care for, kind of like the Lafroig Select, which we joked that was an intern decision. Who knows? One of the comments that I saw today, and this kind of leads into this discussion, there was a comment on our channel about a Jura, the Jura 16. That's going way back, right? Someone made a comment on it, and I was like, what? They're watching an old video. What do they got to say? And the comment basically said, man, this distillery needs to get their act together. They need to drop the E150, and they need to start bottling at higher ABV. And look, I wouldn't disagree with any of that, but I did want to defend the distillery a little bit and say, that's great to think that they need to do all this stuff, but that stuff takes time. You can't just flip a switch. The casks they were using 16 years ago, we don't know if those casks can produce a good quality color consistent. Maybe they need that E150 just to make it that. I don't know. Changes in distilleries happen over long periods of time. They don't just happen today. We don't just say, well, we're going to change our core lineup and we're going to make it happen. That doesn't happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want Jura to change, and I want to root for them. I'm a fan of them. I want them to get better, but I also understand it's going to take some time. So that comment kind of caught me off guard. But I'm curious to know what the middle range Auchentoshan is, to bring it back full circle here.
Yep.
What are those middle range Auchentoshan? I bet you, I want to believe that they're going to be more in line with that 25. They're going to be more in line with that being the norm out of that distillery.
My thought, having had both ends of the spectrum from that distillery now, is that you've got something in the new make that just is just a little bit weird, like a touch of vomit, or you know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's got that sour note to it, and it's just kind of a little off-putting. But you leave it in a barrel for 18 or 20 years, and the barrel works magic.
It's amazing.
And it works some of those off-putting flavors out. It changes the composition. If Dr. Scotch were here, he could tell us how that all works. But
somebody mentioned about how Andrew and Dr. Scotch are never in the same room at the same time.
Yeah, they don't
now
like each
neither
other.
one of them are here. They're off together, right?
Well, that's a whole nother topic.
Exactly.
That's not nice. That's not nice.
Barry White going on.
But I think that there are some distilleries like that their new make can be a little off-putting, and they're used to letting it age for a while to get rid of that. Well, one that comes to mind is Macallan. Because you always get that sulfury smell on the younger ones, and over the years doing research, we found out that once it ages past, I think it's 15 years or so, it loses that sulfury note. Mm-hmm. The new make has it, but as it ages out of it. And so when you get into the older Macallans, you don't find that note. You just get all that smooth, sweet
Problem
goodness,
is, you
right?
can't afford those older ones.
Right. Well, I'm not saying that. I'm not making a value judgment. I'm just saying that from a chemistry perspective, this is what you got to work with, right? So I think that there's definitely some distilleries like that, especially depending on where they make their cuts, that some of that stuff may just need to sit in a barrel a little bit longer to get to a drinkable state.
I'm sure. I would agree. We're gonna. I guess we're gonna have to get into a few of them. I know there are some people that are huge Auchentoshan fans, right? So I mean,
You're right.
they've got to be doing something right down there. I just think that we pulled the wrong one to start with the triple with. That's
Ben
all.
Dietrich's in.
Hey, Ben Dietrich. I see
Big
that
Ben.
I had a missed call from that guy this week, probably because I was busting his chops about him not taking an iCall. And now I guess I'm it, Ben. So I'll probably call you tomorrow.
While you're on the phone with him, I was looking at Thanksgiving presents for myself. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. Merry Christmas to me.
Right? So let me know if you're picking a little something up, and I may...
we can split the shipping
right,
or what, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I know
That's
what
how
you're
it works.
talking
Among friends, you know what I mean.
See? That's how it goes. So what's Ben up to? What's going on here? I see...
Man, that is...
What, that
such-
hedonism? It's got a beautiful nose.
It's nice. It's elegant.
Yes, it is.
You want to sniff mine?
No,
I
bet
mean,
you do.
this
No.
is wonderful.
It's not your. Obviously, it's different. I mean, it's just not what you were expecting.
All right, I'll play along.
Huh.
Here, you want some of this?
Eric, yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
What's that?
Hey, he was talking about Auchentoshan being, in his view, it's geared towards more of a bartender's whiskey.
It's like fresh water.
See, I think that's odd, because
Rainwater.
I don't think I'd use it as...
Hey, E.T. Smith. Yep, Ben, I'm at Tag, so I got your number, buddy. So we moved on to this hedonism just to get into a little bit of grain. If you guys were tuned into last Sunday at Vine Table, so we did 2 reviews. You guys obviously have seen one. The second one I anticipate will be Monday.
Yep.
Excited about that one. I think you guys
Yeah.
are going to want to see it. That's for sure. Be on the lookout for it. But we did a live. Hopefully you caught that. If you didn't, let me talk about that just for just a few seconds. So we had Dave, the spirits manager from Vine Table, but we also had one of their customers who happens to be friends of ours and huge whiskey fans, right? The teamies, Jeff and Dee, and they about once a quarter they invite some whiskey lovers in Central Indiana to their house. They'll have a barbecue, and they just open up their bar. And I mean, just an incredible collection of many distilleries. Obviously, a lot of them Isla, but if you guys were able to catch the live, if you attend any kind of whiskey event, whether it's Whiskey Fest or whiskey wherever, you might darn well run into those folks.
Yeah.
They're just really, really good people, and they're what we're all about. They share their whiskey. They open it up and let's talk about it. But I bring him up because we got into this hedonism. That's the first time I've ever had a really good grain whiskey, single grain, at his house. We went to one of those barbecues that they had, and he cracked open. It was either a 38 or a 42-year-old single grain. And I'm like, really? We're going to drink this? And he's like, yeah. And he just poured it. It was delicious.
His bar's like my bar.
It's delicious.
There's really not very much off limits. They drink...
There's a few.
There's a
off-limit.
couple.
Yeah, but he's very friendly, and it was a single grain, which I do need to spend more time in the grain whiskey realm. So, what's going on online here?
To me, it's just... I like this is good, but it's very...
It's unique. It's a different style, right? I mean, it almost has like a bourbon element to it a little bit, right? Especially on the nose. It's like not, I guess corn. I'm not sure what that is. It's the grain, I guess.
It's gotta be.
I don't know.
Whatever, yeah.
But I mean, it's pleasant. It's nice. It doesn't have that bourbon
Right.
funk that I'm used to kind of getting.
It's got a sweetness to it, though.
Yeah. It's got a floral quality
It
on
does
the
have
nose.
floral. It does.
But it's all very ethereal. You know what I mean?
Ethereal. Mm-hmm.
It's very light, and it wafts away if you're not paying attention. Like, you really have to pay attention to the glass.
Right, you have
You
to
know,
give it some time. It's not going to
That
stick you in the face
Cole
and
Eli
punch
I
you.
was just drinking, you don't have to pay. Like, it's going to come for you, whether you want it to or not. This one you've got to kind of pay attention to just a little bit.
No, Tom. I was looking for an answer from Ben. There was somebody asked a question of Ben Dietrich in the chat about is SMWS going to be raising prices because of the tariffs? So I was just curious. I want to see that answer. If I missed it, I'm trying to scroll through here. I don't see it.
Coconut bomb, really?
So,
I can give you some of that.
I get the coconut.
I can give you some of that. I wouldn't say it's a bomb, but it's there now. Now you told me that. This is gonna sound awful. Maybe it's that. Now that you said that, it's almost like you're on a beach and people are putting that block or that sun lotion on, that smell.
Hawaiian Tropic or something?
Yeah, it's almost the coconut tropical flavor.
It's got some mango in it too.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I mean, it's a nice, easy drinker, but you got to pay attention to it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because you could just sip this down and not really notice what it's got going on.
Mm-hmm.
So,
in
nice,
all
it's
fairness, that you know what though, kudos to John Glazer for putting that together, right? I mean,
It's got a bourbon finish.
well, it takes some guts to put out grain because not a lot of people drink it like that.
That's
you
true.
know?
So, a couple of things that I want to get into
Okay.
they actually have a tie that goes through them because last night on the discussion, one of the folks they were given a Glen Grant as sample.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So there was a sample of Glen Grant that someone was talking about, and I can't remember if it was the 16.
It was a 15.
15. The 15. Right.
Oh no, he got something else. I think it was that. He got something else, and he liked it so much he went and bought the 15.
Right.
And then it's when you chimed in.
And so, right, and to tie this in even more, someone had made a comment on one of our videos today about wanting to try the 18, but obviously people around his liquor store must have saw our video because now all the 18s are gone, and there was a couple of them.
That's it. That's
right?
it.
And
yep.
so, but, you know, our story with Glen Grant, and I try to tell him, is, you know, literally just walking through one of the local liquor stores here, and I saw this 16-year-old that was on sale for, I want to say $59, 59 or $64.99 or whatever, and I'm like, 16?
That was like year one.
Yeah,
it
this
was
is
a long
first
time
year,
ago.
and I'm like, that's a pretty good price for a 16-year-old. I don't know a damn thing.
We
about
were
it.
so excited about
never
16-year-old bottle.
Yeah, never heard of Glen Grant. I brought it home. We loved it. It was
really
really
good.
good bottle.
Very good.
So then, fast forward, by the end of the year, we were all talking.
We were a vine and table.
Man, we just want to be able to try a whiskey that's older than we are, right? Aged older than we are, right? And so that
and we're in vine and table, and they had in their back glass case.
Which, by the way, is weird when you think about that. Now I look back at that, I'm like, they had this bottle sitting with all the other bottles.
because
back
it's
there.
expensive.
I know.
So we're in there, and
How
those
did they get it?
back glass shelves that have all the expensive booze in it had this little airline bottle, right? And we're like, what is this? And it was like $110. It's a 50-year-old Glen Grant, and so we're like, man, that's a lot of money for an airline bottle. Are you serious?
real.
I mean, I know it's 50-year-old Scotch, but come on. Well, Drew went back and purchased this bottle for the four of us so we could all have some Scotch that was older than we were because, you know, we're not getting any younger, right? So he brings it down and we crack it open and it's like heaven. I mean, it's super good. But, you know, it's an airline bottle, so there's obviously only enough for me, really.
We nursed the hell out of it. It was so long ago because YouTube Live wasn't even out yet. And so we did a Facebook Live.
Yep.
That was the only thing at the time, and it was crummy video, but I managed to salvage it, and we posted. I think you can go see it on YouTube.
distilled in
so.
1948.
Yep. So not only was it a 50-year-old Scotch, but it had sat on the shelf for like 20 plus years in this airline bottle.
Right.
You know, because what year was it distilled in?
48.
48.
I mean, you could talk about the bottle, the size, where it's been. It didn't matter to us. What mattered to us is that we know it was Glen Grant, tying back to your story.
So 71 years ago it was
50
distilled.
years old.
Right. So interesting to tie this all in into Scotch in the news. So reading through, you know, using Uncle Google and searching through things to talk about for Scotch in the news, not a lot going on in the wide world of Scotch. We can talk about tariffs. I'm done talking about tariffs. Airline bottles are baby zebras. You're right, Brian. Anyway, I caught an article from Gordon and MacPhail. It's about Gordon and MacPhail and what they're doing. They just released a 62-year-old bottle of Glen Grant. If you read the article, it says how many bottles are going to be produced. It's in the 200s, just one cask. They chose the cask that basically, if you know the story of Glen Grant, the two original founding owners, one had passed away, and then the other one was sick or whatever. Anyway, by the man name of George Urquhart. He's the individual that ends up owning Gordon and MacPhail.
That's right.
And he laid that cask down back in not 33. It says when he laid the cask down.
1956.
1956. He put this cask
No,
down.
that was when he. Yeah, laid down in 1956.
Right.
It was the year he became senior partner.
His grandson selected this cask to celebrate his grandfather and Gordon and MacPhail. And their partnership with Glen Grant. They've been involved with Glen Grant for that long, and they're now bottling it. It's a 62-year-old Glen Grant, Gordon and MacPhail, and it's going to retail for $5,000. In my mind, I know this sounds stupid. I don't have that kind of money. $5,000 for a 62-year-old bottle.
I don't think so either. I don't have the kind of money
crazy
to spend on it, but for the price and what you're getting out of that one, I mean, that's hard to pass up if you get the cash.
Exactly. I mean, I actually am kind of. I like the fact if you read the article and look at the picture, I think Gordon and MacPhail staying true to who they are by not
jacking up the price.
Not jacking up the price with $1,000 box, and Gordon and MacPhail's usually come in pretty simple cardboard boxes.
Yep.
There's the
It's
bottle.
all about the booze.
It's all about the quality of the booze, right? So that's what I want. I want something simple. So it's a 62-year-old. They could have spent and put it in a $5,000 bottle and a freaking $1,000 wooden box, But no, it's $5,000 for the 62-year-old. I bet you it's going to be exquisite. Now, who gets one of those 200 bottles? Probably not this guy, but it was an interesting story, and it's an interesting story about the man behind Gordon and MacPhail after Gordon and MacPhail have passed on and moved on. So if you guys have a chance to look at that, I thought it was really interesting.
It would be cool to have a sample of that bottle.
It looks delicious.
It does.
I'm sure it is. I can't even remember. In the article, it says what kind of cask it is.
That ain't right.
Wow, Gregor. I think we should move on from now. The color of that's kind of pissy.
Pissy?
Oh, wait. We're talking about R. Kelly. My bad.
Are you,
My bad.
Pissing on the... No.
You guys... That was bad. I'm sorry. I was a reach, Gregor. My bad.
I'm wondering if you guys are drinking tonight. What are you doing?
Telling me no.
So listen, let's get in before Drew starts singing R. Kelly to you guys. Let's get into what I've got poured here. I pre-poured these from home. I've got a little bit of a cheat sheet that I wrote down because you guys will notice there are little stars in the bottle, so at least I know what's in them still. Hope I didn't screw that up. But anyway, I want to pour these bottles in these glasses, let these guys spend some time getting to know them, and I want to. Look, it's really not a hot seat situation here, you guys. These are four scotches that you don't know a thing about. Now, once you start getting into them, I'll answer a question or two if you want. But at the end of the day, I want you to give me the comparisons and the contrast and comparison between them. And if you want to rank them, that's cool. That's great too. But at the end of it, I think you'll find out I don't care so much about the rank. I want to see some other things come out of it. So I don't want to tell you what I want because then that's going to lead you.
Is this a $10,000 pyramid situation?
It very well could be. It could be. So
we got to face each other, and I'm just going to take sips and describe it. I think you got to look over my shoulder and pick which one it is.
Kitchen. So interestingly, blind tastings have been around forever, right? People have done it. They do it with wine. They do it with everything. I think it's just kind of that's a topic for tonight. It's fun to do. It's a challenge of your senses and what you may or may not know. It teaches you something. It teaches you to kind of, oh yeah, give me a hit of that.
Torque.
And it teaches you to kind of, I think actually we did it with, I don't think you were here last week. We did it with the Lagavulins. And I don't know if you saw the video or not, but we actually picked freaking 11.
Yep.
I was shocked of that. Originally, I thought the 16 was better, but I got tricked. So blind tastings, the point is, it kind of helps you stop with your eyes, use something different senses, and
Well, I think that it takes away your preconceived notion of what you're going to like and what you're not going to like.
that's pretty good.
You know what I mean? I mean, we finished that a while ago. It still smells good. But I mean, you go into a tasting, and so like, let's say you go into a whiskey expo or something, and you're trying all these different bourbons and scotches, and you're looking at stuff that you've never had before, and you already have a preconceived notion that you're gonna like that Pappy, right? You've never had it. We're gonna try it. If you get a blind tasting of that with some other bourbons, are you actually gonna like it, or are you thinking that you're gonna like it and you're just going with it because you think that's what you ought to do? You know what I mean?
Well, not only that, but I'll say that you can like something by itself. You have this scotch and you love it and you think this is the next best thing since sliced bread. But then all of a sudden you taste it next to this other one that you liked as well. And things change. Things definitely start coming out, and I think either there's a couple things that can happen. Your palate can get burned out because you're trying several of them, right? That's happened. I've had to call a timeout. I think it was the Tamdu. I was like, guys, I got nothing. Or you actually tasting the other one brings out some things that you maybe not like about the one that you really liked in the beginning, right?
The comparing and contrasting, I think, brings out different notes or makes you pay attention to different things than you would if you were just drinking a glass singly.
Right. I agree.
So, I mean, it's a good exercise. It's kind of fun. Plus, it's a good activity to do with a group of people.
It's fun.
Entertainment. When you pull out 3 or 4 and you let somebody try it and they can pick out what they like, and then you can pull out the bottles and talk about what you poured. I mean, I think that's fun.
You can use it. You can use it as educational. You can use it as entertainment. You can use it as a new beginner to say, hey, I don't like scotch. Okay, well, let's try some stuff.
Right.
I
think one of the things that Roy's famous blind tastings that he's done is really shown is it's not about being right or wrong, guys.
No.
It's not about being exposed as not being able to do this. It's about finding the best whiskey you like.
Right.
It's about the whiskey, not about you, right?
Right.
So,
well, it's not about anybody else either.
Right.
It's about what you get out of the glass and if you enjoy it and appreciate it.
That's it. So, obviously, let's talk about what we've got here. I mean,
they all look like silver stars from this side.
So you guys, they are all silver from this side. But just looking at the whiskeys, I think you can, when I just look at them without even nosing them side by side, there's there's a distinction line here.
I can't see, the microphone's in the way.
Okay. So
trust us, there's a distinction line there.
Well, what I mean by a distinction line, when you see these two, the color are very similar to these two. These two are very similar, but when you compare, these two are much darker than this two. So to me, right off the mat, when I look at these, I'm looking at different barrelings. There's got to be different barrelings, or there's Z150 being used. I don't know, but I'll give you a hint. There's 9150.
Honestly, this one's a beautiful gold color. It's got a nice light nose, a lot of floral.
Whoa.
This one's a little bit richer. The color's a little bit darker.
They both smell like Highlands.
Green and blue.
But they're both fairly close in the nose.
They are. They're both a lot of cotton. The ABV is pretty strong on both of these because I can smell it in the nose. I need to let it evaporate for a little bit here, put some water on it. But
so are we comparing like these two and those two?
No, all
four?
4 of them. Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, I expect to hear major differences between this set and this set because of the color difference, which tells me the maturation is different.
This was more perfumey.
This smells like a Tamdu. It's got that sweet sherry with the spicy note.
What you got there? Silver?
Blue. This is blue.
That's interesting.
I don't know if it is or not, but it's got that sherry and a little bit of spice in it that I associate with Tamdu. I don't know if it is or not, but just on the nose, it has that aroma. This doesn't have nearly as much. I'm kind of curious.
This one has sherry and.
Are we failing? I feel like I'm being
you're not
graded on a curve.
No, you guys haven't even tasted them yet. So obviously you've got some differences, and if you want to ask questions, feel free. I'll answer them to a certain degree.
It's like when you go into HR, right? And they're like, no, there's no wrong answer, and then they start scribbling a bunch of notes down, and you're like, well, got a meeting with the Bobs later.
The silver also has a little bit of perfume on the nose.
No,
On top
you
of
don't
that.
understand. Oh shoot!
I've got
Man,
6
why am I
bosses.
getting all these?
Let's see what that guy is.
All right, I'm gonna try sipping some stuff here.
Oh wow! That's what I need you to do. Start sipping them a little bit and finding out.
I'm gonna start on the opposite side. Well, no, I'm not.
Ooh,
I'll go with you.
I didn't think that was cast strengthy. I thought you were crazy, but it's got a little punch to it.
So now now it's sat here and opened up a little bit. It's still a pretty short window on the open up piece, but I've got like pineapple and tropical fruits in the nose.
Yeah, try a sip. It's got like Granny Smith apple.
There's apples for sure, yep.
And there's a little bit of cinnamon. It's actually got a cinnamony bite to it at the end. Yeah. And then there's some floral notes to it too. It's nice. It's got a punch. It kind of hits you a little bit.
Which one are you guys tasting?
The Green Star.
Okay, so
That is potent.
what do you
That's probably like
guess the ABV on it?
not crazy potent. I'm gonna say I don't know.
54.
I'm gonna say
I don't want to look at you yet, Sean. I don't want to hear it. What do you got to guess, buddy? I mean, you gonna say $1? Piece of shit.
Say 54.
No, that's
$1.
it's either say $1 or 55.
We're playing the
56.
Oh, 54. It's 55.
How about them apples?
55%
All right.
ABV.
We bookended it. I'll take that.
So, and that's green, right?
Yep.
That's green.
Okay, so when I look at the colors, to me, green looks so much like this one. Obviously, it's different than these.
See,
if I'm going to compare it to
me,
anything, I'm going to compare it to this.
This one has a really pretty, like straw gold color.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really like the color of that one. It's so light.
Do you want
This
to tell
one
them? I'll
is
turn
more
this
amber.
off and tell them
Sure.
what we're having, so that
Sure.
because they're like the know what
They're
we're
like,
having.
what? What?
I got comments off now, so we can't see. So that way you can.
Drew and I rarely cheat.
No.
$10,000 pyramid style. Yeah, I'm on to Blue Star.
So we did green first.
Yep. So I'm on to Blue Star. This one, the nose wasn't nearly as pronounced. That one had a much deeper nose, I thought.
I have no idea on this. This is throwing me off. I'm still thinking Highland.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't smell like Ball Blair or taste like Ball Blair.
This one doesn't taste anything
It's almost like
it
an
smells
SNWS or something.
I'm sure it's all cast
Or
strength.
you know what this is? This is probably a Singletory.
This is all cast strength? I don't want to get down to something that's 43 ABV at the end.
Don't worry about it.
Perfume. This is so strong on the perfume for me.
I didn't get much on the nose on that one, but it punches you in the face when you take a sip. I'm glad that wasn't just me. See, you missed out, man. You all right?
Yeah.
You need a minute? It's a little hot.
That one has some potency. That's up there.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
So-
not as spicy.
So wait a minute.
It's got a long finish. You can chew on it for a while.
Yeah.
Waxy.
Green was
really
first.
waxy.
It's got a...
Green was first.
green was first. We're on blue right now.
Okay, hang on.
Really, really waxy.
This one...
Wow.
This one has a little bit of clove.
Yeah. No legs. Well, a little bit.
I get a little bit of that barrel
color is
influence.
this?
It's got a little oakiness to it. It's got a little vanilla. But
I'm getting wood and wax.
Yeah.
I'm not getting a whole lot of much else.
I get that like new oak,
Mm-hmm.
like fresh sawn wood. It doesn't have that old wood smell to it.
a bit of heatherly like fragrance and
It's got like
what are you?
like clover, like real light floral.
Yeah.
The nose isn't as pronounced as when I first sniffed it. I thought that it had a decent nose, and now I just kind of all wafted
So
away.
that's blue.
Yep.
What did you say the ABV was on
We
it?
haven't yet. It's high.
That's a big pour. You might need more water now.
I'm gonna say, it's fine.
Give me that one. You already watered it down. Damn, I want to taste it.
Fighting a dragon with a penknife, but we'll get through it, man. It's just gonna take a while.
That one's. I gotta do it one more time, but it's. Look at the legs now.
I know.
This. Oh, what is? I actually, the smell reminds me of something we've had.
Ooh, that's so good.
I know. I really like that first one. It's tasty stuff. This one's not as complex as the first one.
Really?
Yep.
So wait, hang on a second. Before you move on to the next one, what did you guys say the ABV was on
I'm gonna say it's like it's a little bit hotter than this one. I'm gonna say like 56.
I'm 57.
What color was it?
Blue.
60.9.
Yeah, it's up there.
Look at the leg.
I
You're
almost
right,
said
though.
60.
Jesus, it's just freaking dripping.
I honestly think it needs a little water on it to open it up
I just
because it's
put
just
some on
missing
there.
something.
I know we need to come back to it.
So yeah,
We'll be
the
drunk
green is
before the
so
thing's
much
over.
softer. It's so much sweeter and softer than
Yeah.
this.
That one's a little you can't get much out of it, honestly.
Okay.
Put some water on that.
Yeah, put some more water on it. Now, before
Which
I
one,
get
this
into
one?
these two, let me tell you a little bit more about these two. So you're talking about green and blue, right?
Yep.
Green is a refill barrel and it's ex-bourbon.
Okay.
Makes sense.
No surprise, right?
Yep.
Blue is a refill hogshead ex-bourbon.
Yeah.
So you're getting a little bit darker color from the refill hogshead.
But where
is
they're
what you're-
from, because there's definitely more. I still think they're both
I didn't
Highlands,
taste
but
this one yet.
that one has a lot more of a nose, like that perfume for me. By far, it's a huge difference in the nose in that one on the perfume side.
I think this one's a little spicier.
It's
This
got
one-
more clove.
Yeah. This one just tasted softer and smooth, sweeter to me.
Green.
Yeah, the
Is
green
that, is
did.
that green?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back there again. Now we put some water in this one a little bit. They sat for a minute or two.
I like the green better.
The green is nice.
You like the green?
Green
better?
has more malty coming out of it.
All right.
Okay.
Moving on.
So moving on. Now, obviously,
Silver.
I think you're seeing there's going to be a drastic difference. I think here. I expect a drastic difference. Just
So
because
this was
of
the one that I thought smelled tamdewy.
Tamdewy. Okay.
Yeah, if that's a real word, it is now.
See ya, Chad Adams.
I don't think cum spots makes anything
That's
strong.
that's softer. It's got a lot of brown sugar and
What color is that again? Silver.
Is that
You said
green?
Tamdew.
yep.
Could that
There's a
be
little
green?
bit of
No.
like allspice clove in it. It's got a little bit of that subtle spice to it. Not as high in the ABV. I'm gonna say around 50, 51.
The silver.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you
Is that
tasted
silver?
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't taste as hot to me.
No.
And it's got a lot more sugar sweetness to it.
Hang on a second.
Brown sugar.
We need to take a time out. Charlie just sent us a super chat here of 99 MX. I'm going to say Mexican pesos maybe or something like
he's
that. So 3 bottles up to $200 each. Which would you guys buy?
what? 3 bottles and
You
$200
get
each?
yeah. So I'm going to give you $600. You have to buy 3 bottles. What do you buy? Dun dun dun.
I'm probably buying.
I'm probably getting a Signet.
Yeah,
Probably getting.
I'm probably getting a probably something from Glengoyne, or
Yeah.
maybe Glendronach.
Yeah.
A single cask Glendronach would be nice.
You know, Charlie, not to throw this back on you, I'm not trying to avoid your question. I really need to know what you're into, what your palate
Well,
is.
I
because
think I
I'm
saw him
telling you-
earlier. He's very new into whiskey when
Right.
he buys stuff. Because he mentioned Decent 20. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you can find it all, we get it. But I'm just saying, I want to know if you're a sherry head, if you're a peat bomb guy,
or if you just want to experiment with
if
some
you want to
stuff.
experiment with some light Scotch. Right. So
Honestly, the best solution for you right now, because we're all, it depends on our mood, because people ask us that all the time. So our probably number one question, what's your favorite Scotch? It depends on our mood. The best thing to do is get on our Discord, because you're going to talk to people
that's true.
all the time about what's going on. And
a lot of them have a vast
so
collection
much
of
better
Scotch.
than us. Really, seriously. We can definitely help you. And honestly, get on Discord. I think Steve's mentioned it earlier on there as far as the link. We can take us offline and ask you some questions and get some more information for you. That's really nice. I like that one. Brown sugar is what I got on the palate.
So what did you
quick
say?
finish.
Ooh.
Which one are
Silver.
we?
He's already moved on. What did you say the ABV on that was? You said
Around
50?
50-ish.
What do you think the ABV is there, Drew?
I got a little bourbon on those too now. Corn.
Wait till you try this one.
That's silver, right?
Yeah.
Give me an ABV on that.
It's dark chocolate bitterness too right now. That's like it's got some age to it though.
I'm gonna revise mine.
That's like a Glen.
I'm gonna go up.
On ABV?
Yeah.
I know you would. Yeah, you came in soft.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why you didn't hit it. Why it didn't
Because
hit
that
you.
other one was 60.
Right.
And I think coming in from that one, I was like, oh, this
would
is
have
like
helped to maybe
40.
take a
What are
sip
you
of water.
giving
Right.
me?
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's more than 50.
I'm gonna go up to around 54, 55.
Drew,
On silver?
that
Yeah.
silver that you just had.
This one.
What's the ABV on that?
That's like I feel like it's like a 21-year-old Glendronach or something like that. That's what I'm feeling on that one. I think it's like a 50, 40, 48. That's what I'm gonna say.
58.
That's 58?
Yes, that's a 58% ABV. I like where you're going with Glendronach. I probably would have said Glengoyne. That's just me after tasting it. But you're not far off there. And why I say it is because obviously you guys are noticing there's a maturation here with some kind of sherry.
Yeah.
You're right. So
This got
Did you try this one
maturity.
yet?
Not yet. This has maturity. I would not have guessed it that high. ABV. You said 58? Really?
58.1.
That's shocking to me because it does not. I don't have that kind
I'm
of
not shocked.
cask at all. In that.
Try that. That one's good.
Hey, Liam.
Sherry finish, but it's got that cask sweetness to it. It's been sitting for a minute in some kind of sherry.
They're similar, actually.
They are now that I've tasted them. They weren't initially on the nose. I thought that they were a little bit different on the nose, but now that I've tried them both, they've got a
They're very similar.
a similar.
They are different on the nose. I got them, though.
Yeah.
They're similar, but there's a difference there. And I'll point it out to you. You guys will be...
You could leave me blissfully ignorant. I'll just sit here and drink these. I like
These are
60%
mature.
ABV.
These two have
Yeah.
years on them.
I'll tell you what.
Both of them
What
are
did you
aged.
think the ABV on this last one was, this red? Give me an ABV.
That one's got some heat to it.
God, that went down really well.
I'm gonna say 52.
I like that you're coming in light tonight, man.
He is coming in light tonight.
That's because I'm a pro.
I'm gonna say, no. I think it's because you're a lush. That's where we're at right now. You're like, is that really? That's 60% ABV.
That was not 60.
I just poured myself 3 fingers. I didn't taste that at all.
Shut up.
Find a
Sean.
drive. What
Who's
the hell are you
working
talking-
tomorrow?
Shut up.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay,
I'm gonna go with like 56.
59.2.
Really?
Damn. I'm way off. You're right.
So the lightest one was
Look at legs.
55%.
And that was the first
that's
one,
the
right?
first
And that was the first one.
Damn.
So-
Cast strengthening us. I should have known better
Obviously,
from your bar.
now you've brought up another topic that I want to. You've talked about age. I want you to age these.
Age them.
Yeah, you said to you these two had age, and what's funny is you said these two had age, and I wonder if you said that because their sherry matured.
I
So,
honestly
I
think this
tasted-
one is very refined.
Well, one of them had a little bit of a must to
Well,
it too.
I'll tell you. I told you guys what the maturation finish was on those two. I'll
Yep.
tell you what these two are, and this is where it's going to get interesting to you when you said they smelled similar. So the silver is First Fill Hogshead XPX.
Okay.
So this is it was in a first fill hogshead, and then it was in PX casks. This was in a refill barrel, and then no, hang on a second, I'm reading it wrong. We'll call it red. It was in a first fill hogshead, just like this one, both first fill, ex Oloroso, PX Oloroso.
Really? No.
There's your difference. And we'll continue to reveal, peel layers off of this as
This
you
is
tell me
PX?
age. The silver is PX, red is Oloroso.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
I think my initial nose, there was a difference. There was a divide.
I know there's a big difference on those two flavors. I didn't
get that big a differentiation on this one.
Well, so it's funny though.
They were different, but it was more like different distilleries and not
now
different.
that I know that, I can hone in on the PX on that now. But it wasn't pronounced. It wasn't like Deanston 10 versus the 20.
Okay. Yeah, that's not fair though, because Deanston 10 is much higher ABV than a 20. These ABVs are one away, 58 and 59.
They're hot.
I still don't get the PX in that.
Really?
That one I can't hold.
Not really.
It's richer.
I smell it.
Darker.
Oh yeah, I smell it. It's there.
I believe you. I mean, we may have to go back to your house to inspect the bottle. I'm just saying.
So you've completely thrown me because I don't know what your collection is.
But so you said these were old. Did you say they were old just because maybe that cherry
they felt old to me on the nose
because of the PX
maybe
Oloroso?
Probably because I'm these are so light.
I was going to say that
but this one
was
feels like it's
older.
also aged too because I feel like it's been like
so
finessed. It's been
throw some ages. If I got you guys, this is the guess-matic here, man. Age each glass. Hard to do, although you know that they're hot. You know all four of them.
They're all above 20. I'm gonna say 21, 22, 21, 22.
Okay.
I'm going lower.
Sean's like $1.
Not that low.
19,
it's got to be at
19.
least $3. It's $3.
Okay.
I think these two are actually probably maybe even older than those.
So,
because you're tricking me. I feel like I'm being tricked. If I was using my palate and this is where I'm trying to, it doesn't feel like these taste older to me than these do, but I have a feeling from my knowledge that these are probably maybe even older than those.
I think this is an older one. But these were in hogsheads for a while, so that kind of throws things off a little bit too, right? I mean, because how long did they put them in the PX? Was it just a finish, or was it an actual like maturation kind of thing?
And these are staying in my bar, right?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because my bar stays
Except
in my bar.
for the ones that I'm taking home with me. So I'm going to say the blue one, I don't get as much depth of flavor out of. I'm going to say that's a little bit younger. Maybe like,
Just totally.
let's say 12 years.
Okay.
This one feels a little bit older, a little more refined to me.
Okay.
It's got a little more depth of flavor.
All right.
I'm going to say like maybe 14 years, 15 years. These two, I'm not sure because...
You're being masked by the finish or the maturation?
Well, I'm just not sure because they're in two different barrel types. I'm not sure. That kind of throws me off a little bit. I mean, I'm going to say they're in the, 15 to 18 range. I don't think they're over 20.
You did a good job of having two different, but similars. I mean, it's
these two are very similar. These two are very similar.
Yeah, I know.
Really, these
Those
two
are very similar.
These two lived the exact same life. Only difference was one was a PX barrel and one was an Oloroso barrel.
Well,
So you're saying that same.
So the same year.
Oh, did I say that? I didn't quite say that yet, did I?
That's what it sounds like.
I'm reading between the lines here.
Bitches are getting freaking paying attention. Go on, tell me your years. You already did. So you want to hear the years?
I'm gonna say. Hold on, one more time. I'm gonna say. Yeah, I'm gonna say they're all above 20. I stay by that. I think 21, 22, 21, 21.
All right. 25.
Wow, really?
Yep. 22, 22, 22.
Oh, I was not bad. I wasn't bad.
You're killing it on that. I get the ABV, you get that.
Right. So what I really wanted to put out here is they're all the same distillery.
They're all the same distillery.
These are all Glen Grants, tying it back to that 50.
I almost said Glen Grant.
Tying it back to this. It ties it all the way back to the whole discussion that we had.
These are Glen Grants?
They're all four Glen Grants. But, and honestly, 3 are the same age. 2 are the same finishes. The other 2 are very similar to the same finishes, just PX and Oloroso. There's a lot of differences or similarities across the board. Damn. But to me, it really shows what a distillery can do with the wood. Look, these all started from the same new make, guys. Hell, these three right here all started in the same year, right? I mean, these all came through the distillery, distilled
But
in the same year.
Now that you say that it's a Glen Grant,
I can totally taste the Glen
the
Grant now.
first one,
Yeah.
the
Taste
green
it.
one is the Glen Grant.
Oh, absolutely.
I would never have guessed that those
Why
were
didn't
Glen
I say
Grants.
that, Glen Grant? I almost
So
did.
I'm with you because I took notes on it. I'm like, oh, they're gonna guess this in a heartbeat because that really smells like Glen
That
Grant.
one does.
I would never have guessed these as Glen Grants. This one I would have guessed as Glen Grant because it had a
That's
similarity
the only
to it.
one out of the four I would have picked.
Right. So what did I say the difference between those two were? They're both ex-bourbon. One's a refill. They're
Hogs.
both one's a refill hogshead. One's a refill barrel. What's the difference there? I don't know.
So what's
Well,
the story with these two Glen Grants?
The silver and the red.
Yeah.
The silver's a 22-year-old. So it's this.
It's SMWS.
There's your silver right there. No,
I figured they're
that's red.
SWSs
That's red.
because of the
that's
freaking
red. This
gas
this
strike.
this is
Yeah.
the red one. That's 158. 158 is red. There you go. The other ones you don't have here. There's 157, 155, and 152.
Did this one ever tame down? Because that 60%
But-
ABV was hot.
It was hot. Hey, Telex, good to see you, buddy. Wow.
So let's
That doesn't taste anything like that.
in an effort to bring our audience back in because we've probably bored them with this live.
Probably.
Let's do this. Let's figure out a way to take a capture of who all's on and randomly select 4 people, and we'll send them a small sample of each one of these bottles.
Oh, shit.
Each
No
one,
pressure.
each person
I've
gets
been
one of
drinking,
the
Mark.
samples.
There you go.
So to make this fun, you guys, and bring you guys back into the fold, you guys had a great chat.
I would.
We're going to randomly
never
select,
have
and
guessed
I'm going to send a sample of each one of these bottles to one person. You know, so each
Right.
person gets one sample of one of the bottles. You might get this one, you might get the next one, whatever. We'll send 4 samples out.
that. Nice.
Yeah, Bob/KB actually sent me the 4 Glen Grants a long time ago and wanted me to really judge them against each other. It's like doing it at his table in his kitchen. Remember in his dining
Yep.
room? I mean, KB absolutely loves that kind of stuff.
Yep.
We all love that kind
Yeah.
of stuff, right? But I mean, when
I
you're
will
at KB's
say
house and doing it, it's a
it's a
12
different
bottle
deal.
lineup, and you're like, you
You're
better
like,
strap your freaking liver
Bring
on.
your A game. Bring your A game.
But I love this kind of stuff because these are all Glen Grants. This shows you what a distillery is capable of with the right wood, with the right maturation.
I will say that. I mean, I love blind tastings anyway, because there really is no wrong answer. You learn something every time you do one. But this one was very instructive because it's all from the same distillery, very similar ages, just different
Very
caskings.
similar. Yes.
And I can tell you right now, they taste completely different. This was the only one I would have picked as a Glen Grant.
Yep. And I think you're right. I agree with you. On my nose and on my palate,
Yep.
that one really stands out as a Glen Grant, a core range Glen Grant, something
Yeah.
from the distillery.
Yeah, because it's got that. Now that I know what it is and I'm smelling it, because it's been a minute since I've had a Glen Grant, it has that distinctive Glen Grant.
So everyone
Profile.
said this just proves time plus barrels make all the difference.
Yep.
A huge
difference.
difference.
These 3 don't taste anything like each other or like what I would think of as a Glen Grant.
On their own, they're delicious. They're
Yeah,
all
they're very
full,
good.
wonderful. But to know that they literally are all siblings. I
Yeah.
mean, from damn near the same year.
And what does it tell you about? I mean, somebody said this is the first time watching. It was good content. Thank you for that, by the way. But it just goes to show you that, I mean, there's so much that goes into this stuff that plays into the ABV, where it's from, the taste, the different flavors, the not knowing to knowing. I mean, as soon as we started guessing, you started giving us some barrel types, we started guessing some things as well. The ABV is a huge factor.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, right off the bat, we're talking all of them are 22 years or older. And they're all, I mean, they
tasted old to me.
But the 322s are all 58, 59, and 60 ABV at 22 years.
It's a punch in the face.
Hell
man.
yeah! I mean, those had staying
longevity.
Power. They could have gone 50, baby.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for
strong
real.
like bull.
Well, and so that brings us back to an interesting point. Like, so you're bottling these, and you're looking at that bottle, and you're tasting it, and you're like, you know what? It's damn good. It's 22 years old, but it's 60% ABV. I can leave it in this barrel for another 5, 10, maybe 20 years.
Yeah.
Why do I pull it out now?
Right.
I mean, it's good now. It might be super great in 10 years. How do you make that judgment call? You know what I mean?
That's a great question,
Not as
Sean.
a Scotch lover that's like, it tastes pretty good to me, right? Like, let's put it in some bottles. Like, there's a business decision that goes into all of this. There's a time versus cash flow kind of question that goes
Maybe
into
that
it.
drives the decision.
But there's also I can get X amount of dollars now, or I can get 3 times that if I just let this sit another 10 years.
But
it's not hurting anything
is
sitting
there
here.
risk? Is there risk? Can it get worse in those 10 years?
Sure it can. So, I mean, that's a question.
Talisker?
Right. So we didn't have time to talk about it. One of the Scotch in the News articles that I brought up, it's not really a good article as in Scotch in the News. It's a good interview. And maybe Drew will pull it up to let you guys know. Basically, it's an interview with the master blender of Johnny Walker. He is the 6th blender for Johnny Walker, the 6th in a span of 200 years. Right.
It's crazy.
No pressure.
So his answers to some of the questions are really awesome. But one of the things that he mentioned is that over time, Scotch makers, distillers, bottlers, master distillers have determined there are 3 major growth spurts in whiskey. They happen at like the 8 to 9-year-old, the 12-year-old, and somewhere around the 18-year-old. And he said, and if you'll notice, that's what everybody bottles at.
Right.
It didn't just happen that way accidentally. We don't just see a shit ton of 12-year-olds on the shelf because hey guys, let's pinky swear 12's good. No, something happens in that cask at that age. Something happens at that 17 to 18-year-old mark where it's a good time to bottle at 18.
So once you get past that, you're diminishing returns.
And that's why I'm wondering is there a risk? We say, let's leave it in there for another 10 years, baby.
I don't know that there's a risk, but if you're not going to get anything more out of it, there isn't a reward for letting it sit on the shelf any longer.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I mean, we could get more price out of it, right? Value.
But you're talking about an independent bottler. To me, SMWS, let's say, has a ton of casks sitting in a warehouse somewhere. They don't have to bottle today. Then they're bringing in a panel that's tasting these and independently saying, yep, that's good enough. And so to me, at some point, you're like, yeah, that's good. But at what point do you say, you know what, it's good, but let's just leave it for 5 more years? You know what I mean?
Especially when it's such an ABV where you're not running the risk of dropping below 40.
Right. That's my point. Like,
safe.
this one was 60%.
Right.
It's not hurting anything to say, you know what, let's leave it 5 more years and see what happens.
Let her ride for another 5.
I mean, it's not going to go bad.
Right, I agree.
But is it not going to go good either? That's my question about this stuff.
I think you're getting into business decisions.
It feels like part of whiskey decisions is, it's part gut check,
Okay.
it's part business decision, it's part experience. It's very interesting to me how you just say, you know what, this one's good, let's do it.
Yep.
Especially
gamble
for
too, right?
for an independent bottler that's
Right.
bottling single cask, right? Like that individual cask can go back in the thing and sit for a while.
Right.
Versus like a Johnny Walker or somebody where it's a quantity decision. You know what I mean?
Right.
We need to have X number of cases go out today. Put it in. You know what I mean? And that's a different kind of decision.
So to tie back that article from that Johnny Walker guy, I didn't realize this, but you know how many casks Johnny Walker's sitting on?
No idea.
You know how many casks
No
that
idea.
man is responsible
I'm
for?
sure a lot.
It's got to be in the millions, right?
10
million.
10 million
10
casks?
million. And according to him,
Damn.
1 out of every 10,000 is used for Johnny Walker Blue.
I don't believe that.
Wow.
I don't believe that.
Read the article. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying that's what the guy said.
That's
Okay?
interesting, though.
That's crazy.
All right, so you mentioned.
So anyway, yes,
that you're going to do.
I want you to blind draw 4 people. I'm going to give
4.
Right.
I can only do 1.
Okay, so the first one is going to get read, then you'll draw another one.
It doesn't work that way. They all entered a raffle, and I picked one winner out of that raffle. I didn't know you were doing 4. We'll have to do it again. We'll have to do all this 3 times.
You guys want to do this 3 more times, or you just want to do one lucky winner that gets all 4 samples?
I'd say you do one in all 4 samples because it's easier.
Drew wants the easy route. I'd like to spread the love a little bit, but maybe
we like to make Drew work for it.
I can do it again. You all have to hit raffle again 3 more times.
Can you just copy the names into a spreadsheet and do the randomized thing?
No, no, because I don't have that kind of shit. No.
Drew, can you just make it work?
No.
he could. He doesn't want to. That is the truth.
You've been feeding me cast strength all night.
All right, so Mike Porter says 3 more times.
We'll do it 3 more times.
All
We
right,
got nothing to do.
All right, so everybody's
first winner.
First winner is
Nocturnal.
Nocturnal, you are getting 9.158.
Nice.
Nocturnal. Email scotchfordummies@gmail.com with your
all right, we're doing
mailing
round 2
address.
right now.
Right now. Your screen name of Nocturnal, so I know who's who.
So Streambot should come on just a second. There it is. We got round 2 going.
Nocturnal, you're getting 9.158 is a 59.2% ABV 22-year-old Glen Grant first fill hogshead
We'll spend the
ex
night.
Oloroso. So
Doug,
it is
funny.
this guy right
That's
here.
funny, Doug.
I'll just tell you right now, it's really good.
Raffle.
I can't.
Everybody say zebra.
Good. All 4 of them are good.
They are good.
Okay, so the next one up.
I'm so excited for you guys to watch the zebra hunting video.
You guys are going to love the zebra hunting video. It was fun to make. It's going to be fun to watch.
It's our first one, so give us some. We had to shoot what we could, and we still got a lot done.
Right.
I got
It's going to grow. It's going to get bigger and bigger.
There's a shot in there that I am super proud of.
The whole damn thing.
I still cannot believe you did
The whole thing is awesome. I mean, it's hilarious.
It's ridiculous.
Yes, it is redonkulous.
All right, it's a 5-minute timer. I think I need to lower it next time to 2 minutes.
Yes, 2 minutes. We're going to have 2 minutes for the sign up because we're not waiting that long.
Swinging in,
This one's already. Well, I guess I could complete it. So.
Yep. So hang on. We got ticket.
Zebra.
Zebra's right. Okay. So here we go.
All right, 1 more minute. Hold on.
We'll give them 30 more seconds.
Yep.
That's enough time for the delay.
I like the
So hey, out
zebra.
of curiosity, which one was your favorite
Honestly,
out of the 4? Yeah, honestly.
the first one.
I think the first one too.
Really, you guys?
Yeah,
both
because I
good?
think they're all good. But that one was just so clean and nice, and
So you guys went with the oldest one.
Yep.
yeah, I guess so. I mean, but it was you could tell it was
Super
just
nice, man.
it
Taste
was-
that and tell me you don't love that.
It's good.
I love the nose.
What
on
was
it.
what was this
so
one
good,
again?
man.
Jesus Christ,
Number-
the nose. That's
blue?
60.9% ABV, 22-year-old ex-bourbon refill hogshead.
What was the name of it?
I didn't Google. I didn't write it down.
But they're all SMWS.
Yep.
Yeah, I figured.
Slapped in the face.
All right, we're gonna end it. We just had a couple more raffles, except for DeSille screwed up. There he goes. Okay. Yeah, it's pound raffle or exclamation point.
Everybody's excited for the zebra video. Sunday evening, Scotch, you need to come over and go hunting with me.
Okay, so
Yeah, we can have
Nocturnal.
guests on the hunt.
That'd be fun, man.
It'd be fun.
Nocturnal got red, and we're
All
getting
right.
ready to
I'm
go.
closing it now.
Closed for
Pick
the
a winner.
second raffle.
And
Blue is
for the White Walker,
Eric Dollar. White Walker.
Eric DOLLAR.
AR.
Eric
Right.
Dollar, you just got yourself a sample of 9.157, a 22-year-old Glen Grant, 60.9% ABV, refill hogshead, ex-bourbon, Glen Grant. Email us at scotchfordummies@gmail.com. Need somewhere to send it to.
Round 3 is going. 2-minute timer. That's it. Now.
Round 3
2
is
minutes.
2 minutes.
open for anybody who's interested in getting a sample of 9.155.
Y'all learning now. This rapper.
9.155. It is a 22-year-old Glen
I just want to
Grant,
ask a question.
58.1% ABV. First fill hogshead XPX.
What other whiskey tuber is using a bot to do this stuff?
No one.
I like that we have a bot.
We do have a
fun.
bot. His name's Drew. So,
Man, that smells so good.
fill Fill it up.
It's
Put an ankle in it.
It's not going anywhere.
Fill it up. Drink
it's
it.
going somewhere.
That's why I poured it in a big bottle, because I figured we'd sit here and drink them. It's good. So, green was your favorite. Out of the
This is
PX and
awful now.
Oloroso, out of the PX and Oloroso, what did you?
I mean, to me,
that's
this
tough.
one's kind of splitting hairs a little bit. I'm surprised that they weren't as different as I thought they should
same
be.
ABV, damn near 1%, same age,
I think
same
the
distillery.
PX, because it has more flavor to it than the Oloroso in this one is not very prominent.
Okay.
I mean, I killed the Oloroso, but
Yeah, you did.
I was going to kill the
Mike
PX
Porter
also,
says, "Drink
so.
them, Sean."
All right.
Like he needs incentive.
28 seconds, y'all.
28 seconds for the 22-year-old.
Greetings from Denmark. Hey, what's up, Kenneth?
Greetings from Indiana.
Hey, Kenneth. We're giving away Scotch. You're in right at the right time. You might
Yep.
win the lucky one.
Put in raffle. Win something.
Hopefully Denmark doesn't hold on to shit like Sweden does.
We got. You know what? The truck
Better
is
late
being
than
announced
never,
right
brother.
now. We're missing the truck.
I know we are missing the Tesla.
Did we get...
Got new subscribers now.
That's all right. What
if we got anybody
catch
in
that
from the Tesla
We'll
channel?
end everybody on.
Got it.
on a
All
good
right,
note.
let's pick a winner.
So the winner for silver is
Steve A.
Steve A. Well.
Good on
Really,
you, Steve A. All right,
Steve,
Prize
last
assigned.
one.
I think I've
Last-
got your address already in a spreadsheet from the Scotch swap.
All right, last one, y'all.
Make sure you put it in.
So this last one,
Raffle.
enter
Exclamation point.
raffle if you want to.
All right,
be
now
considered-
start it. Don't miss out on it. Jason, John, put it in again.
You missed it.
Jason,
Maybe.
John, make sure you put it in. This is for a 25-year-old Glen Grant 9.152 SMWS, 55% ABV, refill barrel X bourbon. And this is the one that Sean and Drew said they liked the best.
Greg.
It's the oldest.
I like you, Greg.
It's the lowest ABV of them at 55%.
Yeah,
But
don't be
it's
fooled.
also it's also the simplest.
The Glendrantiest.
It's the simplest maturation. It's the cleanest maturation. It's the cleanest wood. This is just ex bourbon, baby. This is pretty straightforward.
That's good.
I mean, refill barrel ex bourbon.
green.
So you're gonna get more of the distillate, more Glen Grant out of this than these. These are they got Glen Grant, but they're also being masked by some kind of maturation.
I'm not gonna lie. My initial thought was Glen Grant. I really did think that. It's good.
This one is exquisite.
It's really good.
I would have put some money down at first that this one was a Tamdu.
It has qualities of that.
And when you
but
said that, and I took it, I was like, I see why he does it. I mean, yeah, I see why he's getting straight. You know, his nose is going this way, and that's good reason.
Right.
I mean, you don't know any better.
we should do zebras going forward for wounded zebras.
Right. All right.
23 seconds.
We are.
It makes me want to post
hey,
the Wounded
is
Zebra
Rob
video
in?
on Discord.
Hey, Rob, man,
The
you need to
Dragon
hit
Force experience
Rob
subscribe.
! Raffle to get in on this 25-year-old Glen Grant SMWS sample.
Get 20 seconds. Hurry up.
Do it, Rob. Do it.
5% Derek Wade.
What did he
That's
say?
not going to win you anything. Not
All
on
right,
this channel.
Here we go. Pick a winner.
All right,
Pick a
so
winner.
For the winner is
Gregor.
Gregor. Gregor. Gregor, I need you to email scotchfordummies@gmail.com with your YouTube screen name of Gregor, so I know who it is, and your address. And I will get these out ASAP. So
As soon as Andrew gets back.
Yeah, we got 4 samples going.
Hey, we got a super chat, by the way.
Let's talk about it. Is that Zach?
And Zach Attack.
Zach Attack. I
Drew's
guess.
holding my glass.
Oh, you guys they're fighting over the green bottle. Ain't that something? So I'm gonna pour a little bit
That's
more
good,
of this
man.
this
You can
XPX.
have it if you
No,
want.
okay.
And Bob, I want to say a couple thanks though. So KB, you sent 4 of these bottles to us, and you know obviously I've been sitting on them for a long time, but this is what I think.
But this is a perfect environment for him.
I think this is what you wanted to see happen with them, and it's what I wanted to see happen with them. I think it's fun. Obviously, the dummies are going to enjoy them. We're also sharing them with a few of our subscribers, which we appreciate and they appreciate. So thank you, KB, for taking good care of us like this. But aside from that, guys, what do we got going on? We've got a great review coming for you guys on Monday that pertains to something you're going to want to see.
Yep. There's a zebra hunter video coming.
There is a zebra hunter video that you're gonna want to see. I don't know if we release that out of cycle or not.
Yeah, I don't know yet.
We're still thinking about that. But I do know that Monday's review is worth the watch. It did take place up at Vine and Table again.
Yep.
But the bottle that we reviewed...
We went up there specifically for this bottle.
For this one. As a matter of fact, we ended up reviewing the Akintoshan because the other bottle we were supposed to review up there, they still haven't got in. And that's the Mac 5, just to let you guys know. So anyway, it wasn't in the store, so we had to pick something
It's not
else.
in Indiana.
It's not, yeah. It's not that it's not in their store. It's not in the damn state. Everybody else has reviewed it.
All
Rob.
right.
But
We're going to be last.
Anyway, that's okay.
We are 20 minutes over. Thank you
Wow,
so much.
really?
Yeah, we've had a
How'd
long
that
night tonight. So
all right. Well,
appreciate
thank you
guys.
all for joining us.
Congratulations.
Hey, those 4 winners, Nocturnal, Eric Dollar, Steve A. I think I got you, Steve. And Gregor, make sure you email scotch4dummies@gmail.com with your address and your YouTube screen name so I know who's who. And I will get
So we
these
can
out.
keep it all straight.
Yep.
Lana wants to know what's the zebra thing.
Oh.
Oh, my God, Lana.
All right, Lana. Let's give her a quick down.
You know what? You're going to have to wait for the video. It explains it all in the video.
It does. The wounded zebra.
You can't wait to see it. I can already tell.
Discord channel time.
Discord.
Discord.
If you're a patron, check us out on Discord. We're on the post show.
See you
Thanks,
guys.
guys. Cheers.
Cheers.